one of the most prominent yet misunderstood words of the modern day. It's been linked to many recent cultural enigmas, such as the selfie phenomena and the overall rise of egoism in connection to the evolution of technology. Many have come to associate this notion of excessive self-admiration with narcissism, and in fact has nothing to do with a narcissist. People with narcissism are often the most insecure people in the room, yet they've established a way of showing themselves as anything but. An individual with the condition actually lives in a constant state of anxiety and hypervigilance. They become masters at reading people and manipulating perceptions. They are exceedingly observant and sensitive to the subtlest nuances. They perceive the world by looking at the reactions of others and conduct their own behavior accordingly. They are actors, shapeshifters, not one person, but two, the true self and the false self. The true self is as good as dead and buried, while the false self changes so often in reaction to life's circumstances that the narcissist has no sense of personal continuity. They only see the impressions of things as per how other people react to them and live that way vicariously. This is why the selfie has been recurrently used as a portrayal of how the narcissistic mind works. A selfie is taken by a person to establish their individuality and physical semblance on social media platforms. Yet they are rarely an accurate reflection of the user's true appearance. They will often take the picture at a certain angle, pose in a certain manner. They can edit the color and contrast, the changing of backgrounds, and the addition of other effects before uploading. How they look is irrelevant. What's important is how others perceive them to look, and more importantly, the esteem they will secure as a result in the form of likes and praiseful comments. Not everyone that takes a selfie is a narcissist, but it's this exact rationale in which the mind of a narcissist operates. Reality is immaterial. The perception of reality is everything. The root of the condition comes from the strict resistance to the feeling of being vulnerable at any given time, and they will constantly seek the admiration of others to counter this emotion. As a result, the darkest and most alarming trait of the disorder is forged, which is the lack, and in many cases, the total absence of empathy. They will easily exploit anyone in the pursuit of unwavering attention and affection, while remaining indifferent to any harmful emanations. Narcissists cannot love in the way that neurotypicals do. They will only accept love on a conditional basis, as they perceive unconditional love as unmerited and non-reflective of the virtuous traits they constantly seek to exhibit. They wreak havoc in families because they go undetected, and damage their own children who need to connect to someone emotionally during the development stage. They are possessively controlling, or otherwise disinterested and revengeful. A person who has any sort of relationship with a narcissist will often feel like they're not being heard, they're not being noticed, but in fact being criticized and rejected on a chronic day-to-day basis. Narcissists are essentially in a constant state of rage, which is effectively controlled most of the time. It manifests itself only when their defenses are down, or adversely affected by circumstances, inner or external. The main question that is brought up regarding narcissism is the source of morality. Is a narcissist evil? Are they fully responsible for their actions? An estimated 85% of life sentence prisoners in the United States have been linked with narcissistic personality disorder, with many using it to apply for a sentencing discount before the courts on the grounds of diminished responsibility. This has been followed by intense debates among psychiatrists about the validity of the disorder and how it influences behavior. Some scholars argue that many narcissists have no malicious intent even when they commit heinous acts. They may victimize and abuse others, but not in the cold, calculating manner of the psychopath. They contend that a narcissist only hurts people offhandedly and absent-mindedly, and is more like a force of nature or a beast of prey, dangerous but not purposeful or evil. The truth is that narcissists are not prone to irresistible impulses, nor disassociation from stressful events or actions. They can tell right from wrong, and their impulse control is unimpaired. They simply lack the inclination to exert control over their conduct, as doing so would require the investment of mental resources which they would consider a wasted effort. The feelings, needs, priorities, and boundaries of others is immaterial to the narcissist when deliberating any sort of decision, big or small. Furthermore, many narcissists don't feel responsible for their own conduct. They often believe that they are victims of injustice and discrimination when facing retribution with past infractions. This is because their perception of life and their existence is discontinuous. They are a walking compilation of personalities, each with its own personal history. They do not feel that they are in any way related to their former selves, and therefore do not understand why they would be punished or judged for someone else's wrongdoings. So what do you do if you find yourself in a relationship with a narcissist. The real paradox is that no matter how much you have to offer, no matter how much you do, or try, or give, it's never going to be enough. And if you're never going to be enough, the one thing you need to do is stop exhausting yourself trying to be. The central premise needs to be you being the best version of yourself for yourself. When you have something good happen to you, take it to the people in your world who have been there for you before, who you know will listen, and who you know you can trust. So many people exhaust themselves in the process of trying to please the unpleasable narcissist that they forget about all of the genuinely good people they already have in their lives. Narcissism can range from mild to extreme, with the most severe form being narcissistic personality disorder, which affects about 5% of the US population. The condition is not curable, but it is treatable. The foundation of treatment will be psychotherapy to help an individual understand the causes of their beliefs and behavior. They can be taught and guided through ways of relating to others. Understanding the importance of considering the perspectives and experiences of other people is crucial to overcoming the effects of extreme narcissism. Medication is generally not thought to be effective in the treatment, though some medications may be used to manage conditions such as depression or anxiety that often accompany narcissism. If you're listening to this thinking your own character resembles some of the narcissistic traits depicted here, then don't worry. The fact you're even acknowledging that means you most likely don't have it. If you're listening to this and getting annoyed, thinking that whoever made this video is somehow accusing you of being a narcissist, then there's a chance you could be one. But once again, don't worry. Having any form of narcissism, mild to severe, doesn't make you an evil person. Ultimately, the moral compass is established in an individual long before they develop the condition. There are many diagnosed with the most extreme forms of narcissism who are good people and live virtuous lives, which can be a formidable challenge, yet they manage to do so through sheer willpower and their devoted focus on ethical thinking and decision-making. They choose nobility over corruption. They take the uphill battle over the downward slope. Thanks very much for tuning into Jim's channel. I'm Kazoom, and it's been a real pleasure.